Hello, I'm Adia, and welcome to Adia Speaks. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about literature. So today we're going to be talking about one of Shakespeare's great tragedies, Othello. We're actually going to be talking about one of the, let's call it a fan theory, that Iago, the main villain, is the devil. So the first little piece of evidence that we're going to have is we are going to take it straight from the beginning of the play. So we have Othello, Act 1, Scene 1, Line 4, first word. In fact, this is the very first word out of Iago's mouth, and that is splud. Now, what is this, and why is that applicable, you might ask? So, we're going to do a little bit of history with some words that were used at this time period. We have splud and swoons. Now, these were swear words in Shakespearean time because they were actually contractions of two words. We had splud was Christ's blood, and swoons was Christ's wounds. Now, because there was a very strong Christian culture here, that was a very, very, very offensive thing to say, and the fact that that is the very first thing out of Iago's mouth brings a very negative feeling about him and brings in a lot of hints that he's at least a bad character, very untrustworthy and very crass. Another thing that we're going to look at is that Iago is a Machiavellian. Now, what is a Machiavellian character, you might ask? So that is actually based off of Niccolo Machiavelli, who was a philosopher, and his philosophy was actually that you use people only as means, never as ends. So in other words, you manipulate and you don't really care how it affects people as long as it gets the ends that you want. So Iago definitely in this play is pulling a lot of strings, making him a true Machiavellian. As well as you can see an example of this is when he is just pretending to be friends with all the different characters without actually caring about them. But, buddying up with them to get him to do what he wants. The next thing we're going to talk about is actually straight from Othello's mouth. So that's our titular character. So it's Othello. This one's from Act 5, Scene 2, lines 336 and 337. So the first part of this quote, the first line is, "I look down towards his feet, but that's a fable." Now, once again, how is this applicable? People thought at this time that the devil or Satan would have cloved feet like a goat. And so when he says, "I look down towards his feet," that's him saying, does he have cloven feet, right? But that's a fable. And so he's saying, well, maybe that's just something that people say. And also, I'm guessing Iago is probably wearing shoes in this play. The next part of this quote, the other line we're looking at is, "If that thou be'st a devil, I cannot kill thee." Now this is Othello then saying, well, another proof to see that you're the devil is that if I try to stab you, for example, you won't die. And so Othello proceeds to stab Iago, and while he bleeds, he does not die. And this is a fatal stab because Othello is actually in the military. He would know how to deliver a blow that would kill. And so he did deliver this blow, but Iago is still alive. So that about wraps up why Iago is the devil. So I'd like it if you could subscribe, like, comment. Feel free to email as well and let me know what you want so that I can create more content based for you. And thanks for listening to Adia Speaks. Bye!